Well, welcome everyone. My name is Jon Brenneman. I am the president here at MOAA Vacations, and we are joined today by Robin Pieper. She is with the Globus family of brands. That family of brands includes Globus, Cosmos, and then the brand that we are going to speak of today, Avalon Waterways. We are recording today's presentation. This afternoon or tomorrow morning, you receive an email that will have a copy of this presentation. One little tip I always like to give people, if during the presentation today, Robin or I say something that you'd like to revisit, just make a note of what time it is. And then if it's say 40 minutes in, when you get the video tonight or tomorrow, then you can just forward to that part. Everything we do here at MOAA Vacations is for members as well as their family and friends who want to travel with them. So when you receive the video presentation, feel free to share it with anyone you would like. Once I get done kind of doing this introduction, housekeeping, I'm going to turn it over to Robin. While Robin is speaking, I will be answering questions on the Q&A. And then at the end of Robin's presentation, we're going to answer questions then as well. So if you have a question, feel free to answer it. If it's something that I think everyone would be interested in, we will revisit that question at the end. Or if it's something that I will want to get Robin's input on. So feel free at any time a question comes to mind to go ahead and just ask that in the Q&A, and we'll get to it as quickly as we can. Real quick about MOAA Vacations. We are MOAA's affinity partner for travel. We are a full service travel agency. We specialize in vacation travel. So we'd like to be your travel agent for all of your future vacations. We offer a superior service. We guarantee the lowest price. We do have an amenity program. I know Robin's going to talk a little bit about that, but they're one of the vendors that participated in our MOAA exclusive amenity program. And that's just an additional savings on top of the already lowest rate. And then we offer the opportunity to travel with your fellow MOAA members from across the country. And it's a great opportunity. If you want to travel on your own, you can. But if you'd like to go with a group, we have found that many members really enjoy the opportunity to go with people with that shared background. New friendships are made. And a lot of times it's great when you're traveling to share the experience with someone else. So you get up in the morning, you have breakfast, then you go out and you experience whatever that port of call has to offer. And then when you get back on board, either at the cocktail party before dinner or at dinner, you could sit down with these new friends, your fellow MOAA members, and reflect upon what you experienced that day. It really adds a lot to the travel experience. But one thing to keep in mind as we go through this, Robin's going to talk about some MOAA group departures. If that date doesn't work for you, you certainly can go on that itinerary on another date. It just wouldn't be with your fellow MOAA members. Or if when we're going through and we're talking about those group departures, if there's somewhere else that you'd like to go, absolutely let us know. All the service and the savings and the amenities that we're going to talk about today would apply to any Avalon booking, or for that matter, any Globus or Cosmos booking as well. So if you want to do land as compared to river, or actually there's the opportunity to combine a river cruise with the land package. So without any further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Robin. Robin, thank you for joining us today. And myself and everyone would love to hear more about Avalon.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Jon, for the opportunity to speak with like-minded individuals who like to travel at MOAA. And we've been working together for many years, actually. Jon and I have been trying to find the best offers and the best itineraries to offer to the members and their family and friends. So without further ado, I want to talk a little bit more about your next adventure and maybe where that should be. And the fun part about my job is all the different places that we can take you. So as Jon mentioned, the three brands that I represent, Globus, which is our fully escorted first-class touring product. That'll be guided vacations with a professional tour director, professional driver, and then local guides. There's more included with our Globus packages. We include breakfast daily, some lunches, a couple of dinners, must-see sightseeing, and a wonderful way for you to get to the must-see sites with our VIP access, so you don't have to stand in line, which then gives you more free time to go out and explore on your own if you wish. Cosmos is our more budget-friendly product, and what I love about Cosmos is sometimes you have a set budget, and maybe you sat down with your financial planner and you said, I want to be able to travel in retirement, and let's set up a budget for that. And maybe that budget, you didn't know where you could exactly go. Well, with Cosmos, it brings a lot of destinations back into view as one of the destinations you can do with a budget. So just keep that in mind, that we go all over the world. We actually go to 6 continents, over 500 different vacations. And now we actually just had to change this slide. We've now been planning vacations for 95 years. Now, Avalon hasn't always been part of all 95 of those years. She's about 16, but she is a sweet 16 for sure. So if you haven't river cruised before, there are some great benefits to why you might want to cruise. So of course, you pack and unpack once. You have the opportunity to visit multiple countries with great ease. Again, we're taking you from place to place so that you can discover these new locations, little destinations like little towns, and then still going to see big cities. I always think about Paris and all the twinkling lights, and then the next day you're in this little village. We do have 16 beautiful ships, or we will here shortly. I'll talk about our newest member of the family, but we do have smaller ships. So 128 passengers or 166 passengers in Europe. In Southeast Asia, our ship there holds 36 passengers. In the Galapagos, just 18 passengers. Egypt is going to be around 50, as with the Nile. So we have lots of different opportunities for you there. Luxury accommodations are going to be included with our river cruising option. And then of course, great sightseeing options that are going to be of different interest to different folks. And then we all know that the history of these countries was built along the river. Those were their highways. So we know that that's where the castles are, because that's how people moved from place to place, was via the river. So there's a lot of history to uncover. Now, a little bit about why you might be interested in river cruising, but let's talk about why you want to be interested in Avalon. Well, we do have the widest views in the world from our staterooms, our panoramic staterooms. Our cabins are 30% larger than the average river cruise company. And we do include a wide variety of our tours. We've got world-class dining, 5-star accommodations, like we talked about. Regional wine and beer will be included with lunch and dinner, sparkling wine with breakfast. Then, of course, we also have continental breakfast in the stateroom, which is complimentary, a complimentary happy hour each day, and of course, multiple meals. So we've got breakfast, but we've got early risers breakfast. We've got breakfast in the back lounge. We've got the full a la carte breakfast. So we've got lots of different things. Then we also have lunch. Usually you'll go out in the morning, come back in the afternoon, have lunch, maybe take a little stroll, maybe go do an afternoon excursion, maybe do my favorite thing and take a little nap on vacation. And it just depends on what you're interested in. So this is something that not everybody has the benefit of when you travel with other companies, right? This is our stateroom, our panoramic suite, that is 200 square feet. And like I said, 30% larger than the other guys. But what I love about it is, instead of us putting an exterior balcony on our stateroom, we decided to make the rooms larger and give you more space that's livable 24/7, 365 days out of the year. Because remember, we have to fit through the locks. So ships cannot be like ocean ships where they just keep building out and out and out and up and up and up. So we have to be very mindful of our space. So we knew that you would want to see the beautiful blooms in the springtime and the falling leaves in the fall. And then of course, you'd also want to see the little snowflakes during Christmas markets, all from your climate controlled room with this beautiful wall of windows that is 11 feet wide, 7 feet tall, and 7 feet. The wall will open 7 feet. And here's that beautiful shot of that bedroom that everybody loves. The bed with the view, the seating area, it's just perfect. Some more of our public spaces and private spaces. Of course, we have maid service twice a day. Our bathrooms are also very well appointed and have really nice space for 2 people to share a stateroom. It is no problem at all. Under the bed storage for your luggage, so you're not tripping over that at all. And then really there's not a bad view in the whole ship. You see, where others might have barriers to the view, we put up glass. We want you to see and feel the environment around you. So, of course, eating on vacation is very important. We talked about the continental breakfast setup. Of course, we also have some afternoon snacks and wine tastings. Usually when the weather is cooperating and we're not going under a bridge that day, we'll have a barbecue up on the upper deck. Sometimes when we're in France, we might do sweet and savory crepes. There's just all kinds of choices. And then right here on the lower right-hand side, this is one of my favorite spots. This is the lounge in the back of the ship, and this is my secret hideaway. This is the best view that you could possibly find on board the ship. Now, what about things to do? Do we have things to do? Oh my gosh. So we have what's called Avalon Choice. So we have separated our excursions into multiple categories. So we have our active, which is being shown here with the active canoeing on the Danube. You can actually canoe on the Danube River, or bicycle. We have tons of bicycle tours. We have e-bikes on board that you can reserve for different parts of the time, or you can do a bike tour. Then we also have cooking classes that we take part in. Those are more of our discovery kind of excursions, or visits to vineyards where you then get to have a winery tour. Or maybe you are more in the classic style where it's someplace you've never been before, but you want to check it out and learn more about the history, more about the military background, more about the religion, whatever it might be. We have that with our classic tours as well. So let's take a minute to meet our fleet. So we talked a little bit about the sizes of our ship. This is the Envision. She is an award-winning vessel, and she has 8 sister ships. Isn't that nice? But she holds 166 passengers. You'll see her mostly on the Rhine and on the longer Danube sailings. And then what about our sweet little sisters? We have 6 sister ships. This happens to be the Tapestry 2. She will do a lot of her time in France, specifically on the Seine River, with our Paris to Normandy sailings. This is a slightly smaller vessel, but laid out exactly the same way as the larger vessel. So once you've sailed on us, you know your way around. There's no extra time needed to figure out where you're going to be. Now, if you haven't river cruised before, it's really important that you listen very closely, because if you've not river cruised, but you have ocean cruised, there's only 2 things that are similar with ocean cruising and river cruising. There's water and a ship. Everything else is different. Look at all the things that are already included. No extra charge for coffee, tea, or cappuccino. There's no extra charge for the bathrobes or special high-end bath products in your stateroom. No extra charge for any of our venues. We don't have dining assignment, like tables that you're assigned to. You're grown-ups. You know, if you want a table of 2 or a table of 4, or if you want to meet new people, all of that is up to you. It's all part of your choices. Now we do have 2 basic styles of staterooms. What you're seeing right here is our deluxe stateroom. It's 172 square feet, and this would be category D or E. Now you will notice that the stateroom does not have that window that we talked about, and that is by design, but that is how this room is laid out. Okay, still a nice sized bathroom, and of course, a great queen size bed, or they can be separated into twins. The majority of our hotel or of our ships are going to be panoramic suites. They're 200 square feet, category A, B, and P. They're all exactly the same. It's just about their location on the ship. And we also have them, you know, close to the dining room with the sapphire deck, or if you're on the royal deck, you'll be close to the panoramic lounge, the club lounge, and the lobby. But you'll notice here how that bed faces the view. You've got an oversized bathroom now with a real shower, marble, glass door. The whole thing is just fantastic. So what is your sailing style? Well, we have a couple for you to choose from. We have the classic, which is like our romantic rhyme. I'll give you some examples. Active and discovery. Remember when I talked about the different types of excursions? They're just going to have more of those active and discovery excursions. And we have those on all the major rivers in Europe. And then, of course, we have some that are river. So you'll be on the river and then you'll add on some extra nights. We have that for you as well. Special interest, culinary, World War II history, photography. We have Diana Galbadon, who wrote the Outlander series. She sails with us on an author cruise. And then in 2024, we will have a brand new ship on the Douro River in Portugal. So we do have a couple of itineraries that we've set aside for MOAA for a special departure. The Balkan Discovery, as you notice here, May 19th through the 29th in 2024, you will get complimentary gratuities. This will visit 5 different countries. In addition to the 7-night sailing, you also have 2 extra nights in Transylvania and a nice savings of $1,500 per couple. So in addition to that, we will also give you an extra $50 per person when you book through MOAA travel within the next 2 weeks. And this one is, you know, a lot of former Soviet, you know, empire. And so this is an area that a lot of people don't get to, especially Bucharest in Romania. And if you haven't been there, this is a great itinerary. And then for somebody who might be newer to river cruising, the Romantic Rhine, we have actually 2 departures. The first one in June of 2024, and this one is going to include 3 nights in Lake Como, 1 night in Lucerne, and 1 night in Mount Pilatus. And then, of course, also complimentary gratuities on this itinerary as well. So it covers a lot of ground, but I do like the fact that you cover so much. You'll be visiting Holland and Germany, France, Switzerland, and even a little Italy, of course. And if the spring doesn't work, fall is really one of my favorite times to travel. And so this is just the reverse at a different time of year. And then, of course, we talked about the passions that we have for different things. Christmas markets, that's a wonderful time to travel. I did Christmas markets last December, and I can't wait to go back with my family. It was something to behold, that's for sure. Now, for those of you who are looking for something brand new, in 2024, we're almost sold out, but we do have the new vineyards and villages along the Douro, Vida, Portugal, which is round trip in and out of Porto. And you will notice it's a little bit more Nordic looking, a little bit more modern, the blonde wood, but still very comfortable, very welcoming. and the newest ship that was built especially for the Duro. So as a MOAA exclusive, if you have seen anything or heard anything today that you like and you'd like to learn more about Avalon or any of our other brands, Jon will be able to tell you exactly how to reach him, but we would also love to give you an extra $100 off per couple if you book by July 12th of this year. So Jon, what kind of questions did you get?
Actually, we haven't had any questions so far, which is unusual. So we'll see if anyone has anything they want to ask about either the group departures or any of the Avalon sailings. While we're waiting for potential questions, do you have a second, Robin, to just kind of give us a quick overview again of everywhere that Avalon sails?
Oh my, so Avalon will sail to throughout Europe, all the major rivers, the Rhine, the Danube, the Moselle, the Rhone, I could keep going, the Seine, the Main. So all of those. Then we also do Southeast Asia. So we do Vietnam and Cambodia. That ship is incredible, 36 passengers. It is a meaningful trip for a lot of people, especially those that have served us. And so we want to make that experience as positive as possible. And Jon, certainly he has all the information available, he and his team, about that ship and those voyages. We also go to the Galapagos. We go to
Egypt?
we do the Ganges River in India. We do the Nile. So we're kind of all over the place in the world.
There you go. We do have some questions coming in now, and the first one is one that we always talk about when we do that, and that is single supplements.
Oh, I love to answer this question because this is a good news story. So we offer up to 5 single supplement waivers per sailing. So the early bird gets the worm, but we get up to 5. So if you're flexible with your dates, and if you can book early for 24 or even 25 is open soon, we can offer you a single supplement waiver. So you don't pay for any more than you want to for that stateroom.
So yeah, basically it's a $0 single supplement, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And I can tell you from experience, Robin and I have worked together a long time. If you don't happen to be the early bird, but you're talking to one of the cruise consultants, the river cruise consultants here at MOAA Vacations, we certainly will go to Robin and see if they can squeeze out one more single supplement. Can't guarantee that we can do that, but we've been very successful in the past. That I think there's 60,000 plus surviving spouses in MOAA. At least that's the number I got a year or so ago. So there is a huge need for single travelers, and Avalon really is at the forefront of offering these 5, let's call it 5+, I guess, staterooms with no single supplement, which is an unbelievable savings when you compare it. And I'm not going to name any of your competitors. I think we all know who they are, whose single supplement for the most part is 200%. So a $4,000 cruise that is no single supplement saves you $4,000. Okay, so that one we answered live. The next one was, what is the best way to book if we want to combine a land and river trip? The best way to book would be to contact your cruise consultant here at MOAA Vacations. They can work with you to look at what you really want to see on the river. And then, you know, the rivers, although they go to most places in Europe, there are a lot of times that there are other places that somebody may want to go to that are not along the river. Most major cities are, but that doesn't mean everything is. And your cruise consultant can work with you if you kind of tell them what you want to do, when you want to go, of when those dates would line up. It's a little puzzle-ish, you know, of which cruises can line up specifically so the dates line up perfectly, but can certainly assist with that. Robin, I didn't know if you had anything you wanted to add to that question.
No, I think the best way is to visit with one of the advisors, and they can kind of help you through that navigation of what's going to be the best option.
Okay. Luggage size limits. My kind of what I thought universally is the thing was obviously the airlines are going to have their restrictions as far as weights. And, if it's over 50 pounds, there's an additional fee. Robin, any luggage limits that are in addition to that? I assume this is asking about Avalon. I know it's slightly different for the river cruises, or excuse me, for Globus and Cosmos because of the luggage portage, but.
Yeah, so for Avalon, you can take multiple, if you can get it on the airline, you can usually get it on the ship. I usually travel with, like, when my husband and I travel, we'll do our one large checked piece, and then we each have a carry-on and we cross pack. So what you want to do is make sure that you're familiar with what the rules are for the airline that you're flying. Usually it's 1 or 2 carry-on pieces and a checked bag, 50 pounds or less. But you have storage under your bed in your stateroom, so that big suitcase can hide under there and you aren't tripping all over it, or it's not in your way.
Yeah, so just to kind of reiterate, I think Robin and I are both on the same page here. It's literally the airline where you're going to have, the limits on the luggage, the weight and the size and those types of things. I guess airlines don't actually have size limits, they have weight limits. It's not like, say, for example, on a Globus tour where they're going to only allow 1 bag per person. And it's not just Globus, it's all the bus tours, because they only have so much space on the bus. If everybody brought 3 or 4 bags, they wouldn't have anywhere to put them all. Okay, so the next one, any Rhine cruises coupled with Oktoberfest in Germany. And interestingly enough, I just did this last year. We are actually on a land tour, but Robin, I'll let you address this. Wouldn't it be that if you're well, I'll let you answer. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, we don't have a specific Oktoberfest sailing, but the dates of Oktoberfest, when they're released each year, there's usually something that kind of butts up to it, before it starts, before it ends. And you can either add pre or post nights on. Jon and his team would be able to verify the dates and then find the best options for you. But yeah, we have a beer enthusiast cruise, but it's not during Oktoberfest, believe it or not. We don't need any help finding beer enthusiasts during Oktoberfest.
Yeah, and if you're on a cruise that's in Germany, a lot of even the smaller towns will have types of celebrations. So while you're there, but yeah, I mean, if you're looking to do, and Munich, of course, is the big one, is if you're looking to be in Munich for a day or 2 or something like that, that's best done as a pre or a post. Do any of your tours include Battle of the Bulge? Robin?
Sorry for that sigh. I was just trying to think. We have a world. I will have to get back to you on that, Jon. World War.
I'm going to say not to my knowledge. There are some military themed, but nothing that is specific.
Yeah.
With when you say a tour, obviously you're talking about Globus or Cosmos. But once again, obviously anything military related, being the travel agency for MOAA, we get a lot of interest in that. So Bruce, I would suggest contacting us, and it was in the email we sent out, and it'll be in the email that we'll send with the video. But just real quick, our 800 number, if no one has it handy, is 800-211-5107. That's 800-211-5107. And then our email address is just mail, M-A-I-L. So mail@moavac.com, and VAC is Victor Alpha Charlie. It's short for vacation. So mail@moavac.com. You can get a hold of us. But if you're looking for something that specific, I would say contact your agent or just call us or email us, and we'll assign a consultant to you who can help with that. How do you deal with the low Danube water levels?
Oh, well, so usually we have low water levels once or twice a season, if we're lucky, to only have them once or twice. Happens in the spring, usually happens in the summer as well. And there are a couple of things that come into play. One, our ships are flat on the bottom, so we're not dragging things on the river. So that helps us a bit. We also, because we have less passengers, we don't go as far down into the river, so that's helpful. Sometimes what happens is there's a certain area of the river that becomes kind of difficult for us to pass. So what we might do is send everybody out in the morning on their excursions, and then we rise up a little bit, and then we're able to pass, and we bring our guests just to the next little spot once we get through, and that works out very nicely. Sometimes we find that we can't do just that. We actually need to, we have another ship going the opposite direction on the same river, and we do what's called a ship swap. And so you'll be moved, if you're in cabin 201, you'll be moved over to cabin 201 on the other ship, and then you'll sail the opposite direction. Remember how we talked about having those sister ships? That's where it's so important that we have sister ships and that they're laid out exactly the same. So we do that if we have to. For the most part, we are able to continue to get to all the stops. Sometimes we have to do them out of order. Sometimes we have to get kind of creative, but what we try not to do is turn everything into a bus tour, right? You want a river cruise. And so that's how we have lots of different ways that we can accomplish that, even with low water.
Yeah. And I've been doing this 35 plus years, so this is not, I know there's been stuff in the news about low water in Europe. This isn't the first time it happened. It is, I don't want to say it's a regular occurrence, but it's not like something that's never happened before.
Yeah.
So these companies are prepared for it. And as she said, even if it's the issue where they can't get through a certain part of the river, it's like they let you know in advance. It's like, hey, you're in cabin 201. When you come back from today's excursions, we're going to be on a different ship, but it's a sister ship. So you still know the layout, and they'll literally, when you come back to the ship, your stuff's in the new 201. That's a rare occurrence, but certainly it is something that has happened in the past. To move on, unless there's a follow-up question on that, I don't see how there would be. But as I said, it's that all the river cruise companies deal with the same river levels, and all of them basically do the same type of thing, which is try to make it as inconvenient for the guests as possible.
I will say a couple of hours of rain can change everything. Yeah. So not to worry, usually the rain comes in.
Yeah. Do you pay extra for shore excursions? Are they included in the price of the trip? The answer to that is yes, isn't it?
So we have included shore excursions. You have several to choose from each day. And then usually in the afternoon, we'll offer another optional excursion. So I have sailed where I didn't buy a single tour and I had a great time, a single optional tour. And then there's also been times where something was of interest and I wanted to do it. So the answer is yes, we have included excursions, and yes, we have a couple of additional excursions that you can purchase.
But in theory, you could go on an Avalon river cruise and you would see, I don't want to say see everything, but it's not like you miss anything. But you do not have to pay extra for the shore excursion.
Correct.
That's what I'd say. That ends being optional. Any cruises to go to Belgium? Obviously, not obviously, but they do have tulips and windmill cruises, or cruises during in the spring when the tulips that are basically Belgium and Netherlands. But Robin, I'll let you answer this one as well.
We have Holland and Belgium throughout the season. Obviously, March, April, that's really when the blooming season is. But yeah, we love Holland and Belgium. So we would love to have you come to that area. You can do an active and discovery sailing in that area. Or we also have, we've had in the past some beer enthusiast cruises in that area. So lots of different choices for you.
Yeah, and just to reiterate what we said before, obviously in a 1 hour webinar or 35-minute webinar or however we want to, however long it is, we don't have time to go over through everything. So hopefully you have a better feel for Avalon and what they do and what they can offer. And then once again, if you reach out to any of our cruise consultants, they can provide you information. You let them know when you want to go, where you want to go, and they can email you the itineraries and the ships and everything else. Does the price of the excursion include round trip airfare, or do we book our own flights? This price of the excursion. I think what they might have meant was the price of the cruise. Typically, when we do prices, and it would be the prices on these as well, we don't include air. We have MOAA members coming from both coasts. We have MOAA members that are near large gateways. We have MOAA members who are, near smaller gateways. So it's impossible for us when we are putting together these group departures, and this would apply to all our groups, the signature groups, the groups we talked about today, is we can't include air because there's really not one price for air for the members that span all 50 states and all the other all across the country, large and small airports. So no, but we can certainly provide you a quote which includes air. Avalon often has air promotions. So once again, let us know where and when you want to go. Let the agent know that your cruise consultant know that you're looking for the air inclusive price. We do have a lot of members that do air on their own for a number of reasons. They want to go in early, they want to stay late. Not that we couldn't help with that as well, but a lot of people have frequent flyer programs, so they have a specific airline that they want to fly. But yeah, it's a great resource to use the cruise lines to book your air for you. But I would always check both, and it's a personal decision of whether or not you want to book air direct with an airline, or if you want to book with the tour company or the cruise line, because it's not always one set answer of what's the better option to do. Robin, anything on air inclusive?
I think it's best to do what you feel most comfortable with. Our team works with all major carriers, and we'll do, our best to route you as you wish. But if, and we also have some great airfare promos, so keep that in mind. But we would love to have you sail with us, and we've got some space still in 23, and we actually have 24 open for sale and 25 open for sale soon. So we're ready to go whenever you're ready.
Yeah, and a lot of it's also going to depend on the gateway you're in. And I'm in Kansas City, so we're not a major gateway, but we are a mid-sized one. But major gateways are easier, I think, to do air through a vendor because there's not connections, or there are fewer connections. But as you get to smaller and even down to the regional airlines, or regional airports, it's something you should really consider doing it on your own, because we often hear this from people is they'll get a flight schedule from a cruise line or a tour company, and in their mind, they know a more convenient one. We really just had one yesterday where somebody was going from San Antonio, and they flew from San Antonio to Houston, then Houston to Vancouver. And that's the flight schedule that the cruise line gave them. And their comment was it would have been easier for them to drive to Austin and fly nonstop to Austin to Vancouver. A cruise line, if you get air through them, unless you are very specific about what you want, are going to book like the schedule they received. They said they lived in San Antonio, so the flight schedule was out of San Antonio without mentioning, we're more than willing to drive the 30, 45 minutes to Austin. So as I said, like in everything, there's a lot of times there's not a set answer of what's to do best, which is why, our consultants are there to help you make that decision, or at least provide you the information so you can make that decision on your own. All righty. Any cruises that go to Austria?
Yes, we have many. So if you're looking for Austria and its neighbor, Germany, you're going to be looking at mostly the Rhine. You'll also have the Main, some Danube. So yeah, it wouldn't be just Austria, but you would spend some time in Austria.
Yeah. I mean, it actually, a lot of times you have the river cruises that start or end there. So yeah, I love these questions. There's so many places to go. We should do them all. And then maybe the last question, I keep thinking that, and then more questions come in. Does Avalon help passengers get to the ship from the airport? Airport transfers are available.
Yes.
If you use Avalon's air, I think they're included for free, are they not?
That is correct.
And then if you do err on your own, they're available for purchase, right?
Also correct.
There you go.
2 gold stars for you today, John.
There you go. All righty. You know what? I like that. That to me, that was a great Q&A session. I thought we had a lot of great questions. I thought a lot of great information was shared. I am going to remind everyone once again that we're going to send you a copy of this presentation. Feel free to view it again at your leisure. Feel free to share it with your friends and family if you have friends and family members who would like to join you. Of course, if you have any fellow chapter MOAA members or any other MOAA members, you know, traveling with friends and family is to me is a great way to enhance the fun and enjoyment of almost any vacation. Of course, there are some times that you and your loved one just want to go off on their own, and we understand that as well. But please feel free to share it as you'd like. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Robin for the final word, but I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know a fair amount of time goes into putting these together and more than just the hour you're spending with us today, but we certainly appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to talk with us. And Robin, take it away.
Well, no matter what your next vacation is, I certainly hope it is a MOAA vacation with John and his team. And we would love for it to be on Globus or Cosmos or Avalon, but please don't spend your days thinking about travel. Spend your days traveling and going out and seeing the things that you've been dreaming about. That's what life is all about. And we're here to help make that easier for you. So again, an extra $100 off per couple, in addition to any other special promo that might be going on with any of our brands if you book between now and July 12th. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a wonderful 4th of July holiday, and thank you for your service.
Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time. Have a great weekend.